I'm Brooke, and welcome to another Brooke review. So today I am reviewing Curtain by Agatha Christie. So the genre of this book is mystery. Most of Agatha Christie's books are mysteries, and the age group is young adult. Most of the books I review are going to be young adult, mainly because I am a young adult, but this book especially, because it has a lot of content involving murder and poisoning, suicide, those types of topics that could be scary to younger readers. So maybe it's not, but I know if I were younger and reading this book, I would be scared out of my wits. So I'm going to give you a brief description and then I'm going to read the back. Curtain is the last of the Hercule Poirot novels, the last book that Agatha Christie wrote involving her character, her famous detective Hercule Poirot. So this book is about Poirot and his friend Hastings, and they return to Styles Court to solve a mystery or to prevent a murder. So in this case, Poirot already knows who the murderer is, and he's trying to prevent the next murder that this person is going to commit. So in the meantime, he has asked his friend Hastings to be his eyes and ears and to try and figure out who the next victim will be, because that is the one thing that Poirot does not yet know. Which person, which guest at Styles Court is going to be murdered next. So the book involves a lot of interesting events that occur. Agatha Christie always gives you the clues to the mystery so that you can figure it out yourself. Of course, I have not once figured out an Agatha Christie mystery. This one was no exception. I got certain points of the mystery. I kind of solved those, but you can never solve the entire thing. So that's one thing I love about this book. But I'm going to go ahead and read you the back. So this is Curtain. At Hercule Poirot's request, the recently widowed Captain Arthur Hastings has returned to Styles Court, the scene of their first investigation many years before. Also arriving to the once private estate is a mysterious stranger linked to 5 seemingly unrelated murders. Poirot's genius at unraveling the intricate workings of the criminal mind tells him victim number 6 is about to take a fall. But who will it be? The answer is about to lead the great Belgian detective into what may be the most perilous case of his career, and perhaps his last. So, I think Agatha Christie's intent with this book was to please her readers. She does make the book very, very interesting. I read the book in about a day and a half because it was so good. But now I'm going to go more into my opinion of this book. Almost, nearly all of the Agatha Christie books that I've read so far, I have absolutely loved and enjoyed completely. And I own a lot of them. I'm trying to collect all of the Hercule Poirot mysteries because he is my favorite character in all of her books. So, Curtain, I loved this book as well. And I'll tell you why. I just thought that Curtain, my pros, here I'm going to list some of the things that I loved. This was definitely different. This book was very different from the other mysteries that she's written. Now, all of Agatha Christie's books are different because each one has a different plot, even though they're mysteries. But this one was different because Poirot already knew who the murderer was. And in each of the other books, somebody dies in about the first couple of pages, and then the rest of the book is spent trying to figure out who the murderer is. But in this book, you're trying to figure out who the victim is. So because Poirot, throughout the book, calls this murderer X, and the reader doesn't know who the murderer is yet. So in your mind, you're trying to figure out who the murderer and the next victim is. And that's what made it such a great read. The characters, too. Agatha Christie has a way with describing characters so that they seem just like real people. They each have their faults. They have their own little characteristics that make them real, make them come alive. And her relationships, especially in Curtain, were really, really detailed. All of the relationships are kind of interconnected. So you had, in this book particularly, you had a husband who was kind of bullied by his wife, and the wife didn't really understand her husband very well. So that was kind of an interesting relationship. There was Captain Hastings' daughter is in this book. Her name is Judith, and you think she's in love with one character when she could actually be in love with another. So that was another interesting twist. Something that kind of led Hastings astray throughout the book. He was trying to protect his daughter. You had another couple, an older couple, a doctor and his wife who is an invalid, but the wife she's very dramatic. So, and then you have another character who kind of plays people, and you have a widowed character who is an Englishman, loud and boisterous and really fun to be around. So all of these characters, and constantly you're wondering which of these people could it possibly be, because none of them at first seems likely. So that's those were my pros for this book. I actually have cons for this book as well, things that I don't necessarily like. This book, this Curtain, I'd have to say is my least favorite of the Hercule Poirot series. Now, I hold Agatha Christie to entirely different standards than other books, so just because I love this book, it doesn't mean that I don't have things that I don't necessarily like about it. And in this book, I was very unsure of the ending. When I got to the end, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm always surprised when I read the ending, but I wasn't sure that I liked this ending very much at all. And for various reasons, not just the obvious one if you have read this book and know what I'm talking about, and I really don't want to give anything away, but I wasn't very pleased with this ending, and I felt like the mystery might have been a little bit far-fetched, more far-fetched than normal. All of her mysteries could happen, like they could, you can imagine them happening even though they're very extreme. You know, they still, all of the details fit together, and in this book I felt like she was trying to come up with something a little bit out of the ordinary. So the ending, I think it fell short for me when I got to the end. So, and I'm still really unsure. I wish I could talk to somebody who's actually read it, because I want to hear their opinions. So if you have read this book, feel free to comment and let me know what you think, or message me on YouTube. So my Brooke mark, I've recently started rating my books. It's called the Brooke mark, is a 4 out of 5. So normally I'd rate Agatha Christie 5 out of 5, but this one, this book gets a 4. So I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and please comment and let me know what you thought. Let's see, what is my second? Oh, visit my blog, which is www.brookeharrison.com, for more information about me, the books that I've written, and more written book reviews that I haven't yet done videos for. So, bye!